James Sunderland.
Madam Deputy Speaker, thank you. Over the past decade or so, we've seen increasing evidence of Russian ambition. In 2007, they planted a flag on the seabed at the North Pole. In 2008, they invaded Georgia. In 2014, they invaded Crimea. And in the same year, we saw the shoot-down of the Malaysian aircraft 17. In 2018, the events in Salisbury. And between 2009 and 2018, there's been a 440% increase in cyber attacks across the world, 75% allegedly from Russia. So we've had instability in the Balkans. We've had interference in elections. Destabilisation in Bosnia with active intentions to undermine the Dayton Agreement. And the list goes on. And this is known as sub-threshold activity. And we've got used to it. We've never really been quite sure, but it's been happening. However, there's nothing sub-threshold about the willful and destructive invasion of a sovereign neighbour. And what's happened over the last week is nothing other than abhorrent. So for the Ukrainians, this is about hearts. It's about their homes. It's about their lives. It's about survival. This is about repelling an invasion. We've also seen the indiscriminate use of weapons, cluster bombs, thermobaric weapons, death and destruction. No one knows what Putin's wider intent is. Perhaps it's to restore the Soviet Union. Perhaps it's to expand his country. Perhaps it's imperialism. We don't quite know, but what I can say is that the response to this incomprehensible action has been comprehensive and clear. Our reaction, Madam Deputy Speaker, in the West is not just disbelief, but it's beyond disbelief. It's beyond belief. So the Prime Minister, in my view, should be praised for his actions to lead the coalition of willing nations. This is about the sanctions, which have been excellent. This is about the support for refugees, which I support 100%. And more broadly, I'm very comfortable with what NATO is doing, particularly the supply of aid and the supply of equipment. Yes, we've left the European Union, but be under no illusion that we are still supporting Europe, and our engagement with Europe is as strong as ever. Can I also please commend, if I may, the opposition front benches, which in my view have been outstanding during the whole crisis. Parliament's at its best when we work together, and once again, there's been an awful lot of sense spoken on both sides of the House over the last week. Before I finish, and I've got about 2 minutes left, I just want to make some points to the front benches, if I may. And I've got 3 main observations as we go forward. Firstly, we need to be careful as politicians with our language. We have to be precise in our language. We mustn't inflame. We mustn't be careless, because people are watching, both our allies and those in Russia. This is about global leadership. We need, therefore, to be firm, but not inflammatory with our language. And in the same token, we need to work with the media, and the media must be reporting this accurately and fairly. Operational security is absolutely critical, and we must not get ourselves into a situation where carelessness in the media is putting people's lives at risk.
Well, my friend, wait.
Please.
Thank you very much for giving way. He raises that the media. Can I ask his view on whether or not Russia Today should be allowed to continue to stream within our country?
Yeah. I thank the Honourable Lady for her intervention. My humble answer is no, because RT is currently spreading Russian propaganda which nobody wants to see and nobody believes. My second point is a very important one, and it's to make sure that we are not inadvertently sucked into direct conflict with Russia. The principles of Article 5, in my view, are sacrosanct. NATO is a defensive alliance. NATO works. We must therefore adhere to those treaty obligations by not intervening directly, until the point that we must. And we must resist that. So please be wary of come-ons. Please be wary of proxy. Please be wary of any attempt by Putin to suck us in to a conflict with him and his forces. To be worthy of its preeminence, NATO must fulfil the obligations placed upon it as the most successful military alliance ever. And my third point is a very serious one. Whatever happens in Ukraine, and our hearts go out to everyone involved in this ghastly conflict, We need to be ready. If Russia attacks a NATO country, if Russia invades a NATO country in line with our Article 5 obligations, then we must be ready for what comes next. We will be at war. And as much as nobody wants an escalating conflict, Putin must be clear that if he crosses that line, we've got a big problem. NATO is a defensive alliance, but NATO is also poised and ready to do what it must. So this is about planning, this is about positioning, it's about surveillance, it's about ISTAR. It's about us understanding what the Russians are doing. And in the unthinkable event that we do go to war, we cannot afford to watch evil unfold. Thank you.